Hey again, guys. I wanted to jump on here and get a little discussion going. I was watching a podcast here on YouTube, and there was a YouTuber that said that all us vintage collectors should go F themselves. Essentially is saying that nobody's going to care about vintage cards. And that why would you ever buy a vintage card in a 3? No one's going to care about those. When you could buy a modern card in a 10. Essentially the premise. Now, in keeping an open mind, I had actually done a video on this, maybe 2, a while back. And talked about it on lives too. Where you have these shiny new cards coming out. And they are graded the same way that vintage cards are graded. And young people in the hobby and new collectors are being indoctrinated or have been indoctrinated into the PSA 10 or nothing lifestyle. We no longer appreciate cards like maybe my generation. So he's about a generation after me. And he's saying that why would anybody want cards, and he's saying nobody will want them, of players they never saw play. He never saw Willie Mays play or Hank Aaron or whatever. Now, from my perspective, that could be the case. I have said it might be the case. Again, with shiny new cards, vintage cards can look old. And maybe younger collectors beyond our generation, maybe new collectors don't appreciate history. If they don't appreciate history, why would they want vintage cards? The thing is, from my perspective, when I was growing up, I never got to see Roberto Clemente play, but he was my idol and my favorite player. I never got to see Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle or Babe Ruth or Honus Wagner or Ty Cobb. I never got to see any of them play, but I wanted their cards. By his reasoning, maybe no one will collect vintage Ferraris anymore. Because they didn't go buy them off the dealership. They never got to see ads for them back in the day. They're old. They have no historical perspective, significance, I should say. Many vintage cards, if you're a card lover, the card sets themselves have significance. But there are many people who idolize Jackie Robinson. They didn't see him play. But they idolize him for his significance, his history. By this guy's reasoning, maybe we should cancel Martin Luther King Day. I never got to see him give a speech. He's irrelevant. There's lots of things throughout history we should just not care about. You cancel President's Day. You ever meet George Washington? It's silly. Maybe we should do away with all the Martin Luther King signs in all our major cities. Did you watch him give a speech? I never did. Who's going to care about him? Who's going to care about Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth? Nobody. All they care about are the shiny new cards in PSA 10s. And that's where this hobby's gone. Now, I don't know the future. Maybe people won't be into vintage cards. Maybe they will. I really don't care. But to tell us all to go F ourselves, this is the class of people that are on YouTube right now. Mr. JD Sports Cards, how about you go F